Welcome to Two Women in Crypto, a weekly podcast birthed on a whim by two women who are excited about the cryptocurrency landscape and have a shared passion about empowering others to step into the digital, tokenized world of the future. We offer tips, tricks, and our own individual insights as to how to begin to navigate this shift. We are not financial advisors nor experts. We are just here to everyone. It appears as though we're having a little bit of a delay. Thank you for your patience. So you just listened to a fabulous open for Two Women in Crypto. And here we are because it did not play. So it's one of those mornings. Good morning.
We're getting there. We have some technical difficulties. It's totally fine. Whatever. Just as long as we're together, we'll get the kinks worked out,
It's always, we're always at the whim of the internet, and the internet this morning is slow and it's not going to play my videos. So that's okay. So here we are. Good morning, Andrea. How are you today?
Good morning. Welcome everybody. Welcome back to Two Women in Crypto.
Yes, welcome back. We are together yet again on our beautiful Fridays. Thank you for good morning, Miss Computer Diva. Part of it played. Thank you for letting me know, Mary. I appreciate it.
Yeah. I know. What a week. What a crazy week. I checked the market this morning. I've been watching it since the Fed came out with some of their announcements. And, we saw the market kind of shoot up when the Fed announced like a 0.5% of an interest rate, rate hike. So that's the largest rate hike in 2 decades, just to let everybody know. So it was expected. And then we saw the crypto market shoot up. It was great. And then the next day it went down. This morning, I checked it, down again. So we're going to just hold. We got to hodl. We're going to hold through this. I think I've been giving this a lot of thought, and I know, I don't know if you've been giving this a lot of thought, Kelly, but there's been a lot of questions on my end, like what is going on with the market? When are we going to see crypto, return and start, showing us some green charts, right? We want to see those green candles. And I think like a good rule of thumb, and like this is kind of what I'm doing, we're going to watch Jerome Powell. Okay, because obviously when he speaks, the market reacts. And he's expecting another rate increase of a 0.5 percentage point in June, and then another 0.5 percentage point in July. Yeah. So my theory, and maybe you can talk on this as well, Kelly, but I'm thinking that the next 2 months might be a little tough, right? As in terms of like the market going up for numbers.
Well, and it's that sell in May and walk away. That's always the adage. I mean, typically as the holiday and the summer months come on, the markets are obviously continuing to consolidate. Even these moves, it's like, who are they going to shake out each time? So we're at the mercy of the markets, and that's okay. That's okay. Yeah. We can't control it, so we're not in fear about it. We're just looking at it as opportunities to possibly get in at a later time. But yeah, I think we're going to be in for a bumpy summer all the way through the fall. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah. And I'm starting to look at, some of the things that could possibly be happening in the fall that can really turn the market around, right? Because one thing is, and this, I was giving this some thought. So let's just say Jerome Powell, right? He just raised the interest rate for May. He's going to raise it in June. He's going to raise it in July. Can he raise it in August? This is what we want to start looking at. If Jerome Powell comes out and they call it like dovish, which means they're not going to raise the rates as much, then the market will recover and start to go back up. And for me, like that's kind of a sign for me, like ding, 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 let's start getting back in. Okay, so it's always a good idea to keep some cash on the side. And then, once we kind of level out, the interest rate hikes, right? Because we need inflation to start coming down. Because if we can't get control of inflation, who knows what's going to happen, right? I mean, the price of food, the price of gas, the price of electricity, it's just going to keep going up. But
Oh, absolutely.
I'm hoping by like the end of the year with like several small rate increases, I'm hoping that it'll bring inflation numbers down. We really want to see these inflation numbers start to come down.
Yeah, we do, and it's not that we're being pessimistic, but I just think we've just got a really big bumpy road in front of us. Period.
And this is part of it, y'all, right? I
Oh, it
mean,
is. Yeah.
Kelly and I, this is like our 30th podcast. And what do we say like every single week? Blockchain is the future of finance. There's so much adoption going on. There's so many things that are going on in the news that it's not even making like mainstream news. So we want to keep an eye on these things. We're going to talk a lot about some awesome adoption that's happening.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about it. So
Well, I,
yeah, go
I
ahead.
think just real quick before we get into the whole crypto thing, I just think on the world stage in general, we all just need to be able to think for ourselves. There's so much rhetoric out there this week. I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot of big issues going on out there. And it's interesting that it's all a shit show. I mean, it's like all of this stuff is just this pot, this cauldron is just stirring of things. And, I don't look at it as, I don't get sucked into the negativity. And that's why we're here for your entertainment purposes, because we are going to be bringing continual joy into your life every Friday afternoon or morning. And yeah, and that's when we get into these adoption stories, that's what makes it super exciting, because we're still right on time, and it is nice to be on the freight trains. It really is.
Right. And when we talk about like volatility and like a lot of like the negativity in the news, it's like we're changing our entire financial system. So as one system falls, so there's almost like we need to see like certain events and certain things to be exposed as we transition into the blockchain technology.
Undoubtedly. Yeah.
Right. So when we start to see like money start pouring back into cryptocurrency, that's another good indicator of the market's going to go, back up. But we're watching this every single day. We're on top of it. And when there's blood on the streets, it's a good time. It's a good time to dollar cost average. And we talk about this a lot. So we don't know when the bottom is going to be, but we know that the market is down. And if you pull up the Bitcoin chart from inception, it is the best investment that you can make year over year for the past decade. Okay, so even though Bitcoin is down and he bought Bitcoin at 65,000, chances are by the end of the year, you'll be in the green. You just need some patience, dollar cost average in, and understand what you own. Because this is
Right.
big. I mean, this is like we are still in the early stages of adoption.
Well, and I was talking to somebody last night. He says, like, I haven't even looked at my portfolio in the last 2 months. And I said, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Don't.
Yep.
Really don't. Just walk away. Just walk away.
Yeah.
You know that you've got some solid investments, and that's all that matters. So,
Oh, it's
all
so
right.
true. It's
Cool
so
beans.
true. Yeah, cool beans. So, all right, let's just talk about the SEC just for a minute, okay? Let's talk about the SEC.
Let's talk about, okay.
So, the
Bring
SEC decided that it needed to double the amount of cryptocurrency enforcement. For consumer protection, we need to be protected. We talked about this last week. We need to be protected. We shouldn't be able to earn interest at Celsius and Voyager and Gemini and all these cool companies that are looking to replace the legacy banking systems. So I found this like really, really cool. So they hired like 20 people. So now there's a total of 50 people that's part of the cryptocurrency and cyber, regulatory, enforcement here. And Hester Pierce, who's a current commissioner on the SEC, she came out and she said, is the SEC a regulatory agency or is it an enforcement agency?
Ah,
Let's
hmm.
think about that.
Yeah, let's do.
Seems like they're doing a lot of enforcement.
Doesn't it though?
I know.
I
It's
love that
just,
she spoke to it though.
yeah, Hester Pierce. She's got a great background. Everybody can look her up. She's a huge proponent and a great voice for the cryptocurrency industry. Yeah, she's a big Bitcoin person. But it's always good to see the folks who are in these like regulatory agencies and who are part of the government that are on the side for people and people's sovereignty. Super important. And Hester Pierce is definitely one of those people. So kudos. We thank you, Hester Pierce. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Because we need to
Yep,
expose these
absolutely.
agencies and expose their corruption so the masses of people can see this, so we can actually turn this around and move into a decentralized world. That's what this whole thing is about, gaining control. They want more control, more centralization, and we're here and we're guiding our ship to decentralization. Cannot stress that enough. We are going to win. I mean, this is a currency war. We see it everywhere. So we know what we understand, what we own. We're going to hold through these tough times. No one is happy when the markets are in the red. Okay. But at the same time, it's like we have another opportunity to buy some of these cryptos. They're not even $1 yet. They're not even $1 yet. And I sent you that article, right? Kelly, did you take a look at Panama?
Right, which one? I'll pull it up here just to pull it up on the screen. Hopefully my internet will stay stable, but it has been, as you can tell, a bit of a bugger this morning. But yeah, let me pull this up so I can share. All right. Here it is here. The Panama one was right here. Oh, well, for goodness sakes.
Our internet hasn't been working that great too. Oh, that's awesome.
Here we go.
Here we go. All right. So as everyone can see, so Panama just passed a bill to legalize cryptocurrency, and it also exempts it from capital gains tax. So here we go, right,
Huge.
Kelly?
Yeah,
Huge
huge.
news. Panama is the third country to adopt cryptocurrency, okay? And not just specifically Bitcoin. All right, we're talking Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Algorand, IOTA, Stellar, XDC, right? Ethereum, we got Elrond, Litecoin. So there's 9 in total. Okay, and we'll have this article, for your review
In
after
our
the video.
notes, for
But
sure.
so here's the trend, right, Kel? Are people going to
Yeah.
have to pay capital gains tax on their cryptocurrency? This makes me want to hodl forever, and I
Right.
think so. It's really important, right? So for traders, for people who are looking to trade to have income, we want to look at this. And I think in terms of I can share with you what I'm doing, right? Because I'm not a financial advisor. No one should ever listen to me. I'm just a retired tech recruiter who's talking to my friend about crypto, right? But when I look at these things, I want to make sure that I have a long-term holding for Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, Stellar, Algorand, all those ISO 222 tokens. Because what do we see
Exactly.
Panama adopting? What are the coins
All
that
those tokens.
What's that?
All of those tokens. All of those ISO 222 tokens.
That's right.
Goodness gracious.
We can
That's
learn.
it. All the
That-
ISO
so we're
222
looking at
tokens.
this. I'm like, okay, this is what we've been talking about, y'all, right? We got half of the tokens that Panama is allowing for adoption, and they're all ISO 222 tokens. Half of them. This is fantastic. Such good
Yep.
news because they're fast, it's cheap, and they're green, okay? They're carbon neutral. They don't use a lot of electricity. So we're going to see more and more countries get on board with these ISO 222 tokens. Last week, we just talked about that executive from Swift, right? And he was talking about the messaging system, and he's just like, people who don't, like, third party intermediaries like Western Union and MoneyGram and all these other, cross border payment companies, if they don't switch over to ISO 222 standard, they're not going to be able to convert their money. They won't be able to convert it. The
Yeah,
messaging
they made
systems,
it very clear.
right? So the old legacy system, the old way for cross border payments, is moving to ISO 222. Okay, and we've seen this over and over again. Go ahead.
And no, I mean, it's really, I mean, we'll continue to put these links in every podcast. But if you're not in the market and if you're looking at investing in some blue chip digital assets, those would be the way to go. Like, I mean, and of course, right now it's the price is really cheap, and it'll probably get cheaper, regardless. We go back to that dollar cost averaging, but those are one of the reasons why so many of us can probably sleep at night, is knowing that we have invested in these ISO 222 tokens, because we know we are really in we're in a great nest egg. It's a 3 to 5 year plan.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And with that said, there's a lot of talk about the ISO 222 tokens getting adopted by the end of this year. So it might be a couple, bumpy months. We're going to see, like, every time Jerome Powell has raised interest rates, we kind of see the market go down. Jerome Powell makes the announcement, the market kind of like prices itself in, and then it goes up a little bit, and then it goes down, and then it'll level out, and then it's going to do this game, right? But once this announcement is made, once the Ripple XRP lawsuit is getting wrapped up by the end of the year, and once all these tokens go live, it's going to change the game for the ISO 222 token. So we definitely are keeping a very, very close eye on this. Now, interesting, I actually pulled an article, I think it was last night, the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. Okay, the Chicago Mercantile Exchange is putting together a futures trading platform for Algorand, Bitcoin Cash, Cardano, Chainlink, Cosmos, Litecoin, Polkadot, Polygon, Solana, XLM, and Uniswap. So you tell me, is cryptocurrency going away, or is cryptocurrency the future of finance? And, like, we got to get educated about this, because the adoption is unreal. It's
It is
unreal,
unreal. And the
you
other thing
know?
too is just even yesterday's market dump based on the news, right? Did you realize that although Bitcoin was affected, it wasn't affected as much as you would have thought it would have been. It did not take the same trajectory, and that's really important to lean into that. So
Yep,
this
no,
is great news.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So now we have, like, the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, right? So they're going to start putting together, their adoption plan for some of the cryptocurrencies. And just to reiterate, I think I said this a couple weeks ago, Grayscale Trust, right? So Grayscale is the largest digital asset management company in the United States. They came out and they said, if the SEC does not approve their spot ETF, they're making
Hmm.
the changes, they're doing the tweaks, they're going to resubmit it. If the SEC rejects the ETF, the spot ETF, so the average person could go on the New York Stock Exchange and get into some cryptocurrency, that the Grayscale is going to turn around, they're going to sue the SEC, because what the SEC is doing is not legal. This is, like, beyond, they're there to protect us. They're not there to say, "Hey, Ripple, you did a great job. You created this platform that's going to revolutionize cross-border payments for the whole world. Let's sue you so you can pay us millions or billions of dollars, and then we'll let you go. Go ahead, go trade XRP. You're right. It's a currency." I mean, and this is
Right.
probably what's going to happen. But regulation through enforcement, we live in the United States of America. Like, we need this innovation, right? And if the government, specifically the federal government, the longer they drag their feet, on like approving some of these bills and getting regulatory clarity for some of these assets, what's going to happen is all the states specific, and we could do specific example, California, dictator Newsom, he just put in, he wants regulatory clarity for crypto. When we look at California, they're always ahead of the game with innovation. Okay. I mean, so here we go. We have a governor that's looking to provide regulatory clarity through a comprehensive framework through his executive order so that the state of California can start moving forward with this. And it's really important because we need to have choices. We don't know what's going to happen to the United States dollar, right? We have countries that are mad at us because we've weaponized the SWIFT system. No one wants to be our friend. They don't want to trade with us. So they're going to trade in gold. They're going to trade in Bitcoin. And what's going to happen is the dollar dominance is getting lower and lower. So all that money comes back to the United States, which increases inflation. And we need to be able to have hedges, right? So we got our gold, we got our Bitcoin, we got our silver, we got cash in the house just in case. And it's really important. We want a good amount of cash right now, I think, right? Because if the market drops even further, then we're like vultures, right? We're going to get in, we're going to dollar cost average, we're going to buy up these tokens at pennies on the dollar, and we're going to go on a nice ride. We have our long-term bags, but now we're going to start accumulating some of these coins at cheaper prices. And then when the XRP lawsuit is over, or when Stellar, goes live with MoneyGram, if you want to do some trading, not financial advice, but that's kind of my plan.
Yeah, and I think I want to also speak to those that are like really, it's like they don't necessarily feel that they have that option to keep cash on the side because they're worried on just living week to week or day to day.
Totally.
Just think about how, maybe in that moment that you want to go get that Starbucks or whatever it may be, putting that to the side or creating that, weekly or monthly purchase through Coinbase or something of that nature, to where you're just slowly but surely just ticking away, because it doesn't matter what it is at this stage of the game, just to be able to have some accumulation of some of these assets as the time goes by, because this is we're going to be going into a valley. We're going to be going down, and it's still an opportunity. So I just want to be really encouraging for those that are like, I don't even know how to go about this. It's so overwhelming to think about. I financially don't feel like, I'm just saying this is an energy that we all have worked through many, many times. Like, I don't know how I can participate. I'm just still worried about how am I going to pay my bills. So I just want to encourage you to lean into it as the possibilities, because you can do it. There are ways you can do it. You just have to rework the mindset. It's possible. It's
Yeah,
possible.
absolutely. Absolutely. And again, the good news is like, I still think we have a couple of months. So it's like exactly what Kelly said. If we can save like 15, $20 for each paycheck that we get, because Kelly's right. Like, you go to Starbucks, like how much is that?
Oh,
Or
yeah.
you go out to eat, or, do you really need that new shirt? Because once mass adoption happens, it's over. It's not over, but we have a brief window of time to
Right.
buy things at such a low price, right?
Yeah.
Are we going to want to buy XRP when it's 10, 20, 30, 40, $50? No. We want to buy it when it's 60 cents. Like, even if
Right.
we got in at $1.60, even if you got in 2017 and bought it over $3, like, it's still a great long-term investment, in my opinion, not financial
Oh,
advice.
undoubtedly.
But we're going the more we see these coins get adopted, I mean, Panama, is adopting XRP. And when we talk about how much it costs for cross-border transactions, or even like peer-to-peer transactions, a lot of people are going to use these ISO 222 tokens because they're so scalable, they're fast, and they're very inexpensive. You're talking like pennies on the dollar, sometimes a fraction of a penny.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is, I don't know, like, it's kind of like there's so many people that have been in crypto and they're like, not yet, not yet. I don't want the tokens to go up in value yet because the average person needs some time to find that couple bucks a month to
Oh,
do
absolutely.
investment. Yeah,
Yep.
for sure, for sure. It was really funny too, Kelly. So like Rowan said, because like so Panama's the third country to adopt, crypto. So like, we should start like a ticker. And as like other countries, right,
That's a great
adopt,
idea.
yeah, we can have like this ticker. And it started off with El Salvador, then it was like this Central African Republic, and now it's
Exactly.
Panama. And I think Tonga could be one of the next ones. And it's always going to be these small emerging countries because they don't have like the stability per se that the United States has had, right? We do have the reserve currency. We will be the last country to adopt this technology because the centralized banking systems and the governments, they just have so much power and they make so much money, so it's
Oh,
like,
absolutely.
yeah, so they're going to be hesitant and they're going to drag their feet on adoption because it's really going to level the playing field. This hierarchical way of doing business is coming to an end. So it's going to take some time. But again, we're going to see all these smaller countries and in emerging markets, they're going to start really onboarding Bitcoin, Ethereum, these ISO 222 tokens, and like if we keep that, we'll be like, oh, we're at country number 4, we're at country number 7. Oh my God, all the countries, let's go party.
And let's give it up for Charles Hodgkins while we're at it, right?
That's right. That's right. Yep, yep.
Yeah.
So we kind of have some good news about this special side project that we've been working on. We do have approval to launch it. So it's coming soon. What's your goal, Kelly?
I'm hoping by next week we'll be able to pull the curtains back on this really cool thing that we've been doing in the background. So yeah, super exciting. All the little ducks have been getting in line. So let's hope for next week.
I love it. I love it. Yep. So get ready to have your minds blown. This is super epic. I'm so excited. I mean, this is just so creative. And it's so much fun. It's so
So
much
much
fun.
fun.
And it's just like we want y'all to share this with everyone because it's such a great way to learn. And it's like such good education. I'm so excited. I'm proud of
Well,
us. I'm
yeah.
excited. We've been working our butts off on this, and now it's actually going to happen. It's so crazy.
I know it's so hard not to
I
say
know.
something or go into song or to pull out my tap shoes or whatever the case may be
Yeah,
every time. It's like, anyway. So, yep, stay tuned for that. Pretty cool. Very
yeah,
cool.
super cool, super cool. So speaking of Cardano, okay,
Yes.
so um, Cardano went live on its testnet for their stable coin, which is called DJED. DJED. It's not released yet. Okay, so it's not on any exchanges. This is something that, you might want to add this to your radar. You might want to go back a couple podcasts ago. I broke down the Cardano's ecosystem and I spoke about the DJED stablecoin, and it's similar to like the Terra Luna stablecoin. Okay, so just look up Luna, and like let's keep an eye on this because I spoke about Cody as well. So Cody is going to be the company that's going to be paying Dijet, right? So Cardano goes into the system, Dijet's going out of the system. It's their whole ecosystem is being built. They're working really, really hard on getting Cardano scalable. Okay. And the other thing that Kelly and I mentioned a couple weeks ago was that when you go to Reddit and you look at the development on GitHub, Cardano is one of the most like developed applications that's going on right now. And their goal is to create a smart contract platform that's larger than Ethereum. So if Charles Hodgkinson can pull this off with the community and with all of the developers coming together, it's looking pretty good. This is a big project. It's going to take a couple years for it to be like, fully functional, right? Because if we could go on and we could try to mint our NFT, and there's so many developers that are trying to develop, it slows down the process. But we look at their scalability platform. It's called Hydra, Hydra,
Mhm.
if you want to look it up. And it's going to take a little bit of time. But once Hydra is their scalability, program, then we're going to see, instead of like maybe 1,000 developers being able to develop on top of Cardano, it's going to be 10,000, and then it's going to be 100,000, and then it's going to be 1,000,000. And we're creating this network effect, and it's still AOL. It's still AOL. And that's why I always feel like we're taking time. We're just taking a little bit of money, dollar cost average. This isn't
Yep.
a race to the finish line. It's just in a process. But I was so excited to hear that, because that news about Dejed came out right when Jerome Powell was speaking, and
Oh,
Cardano
see, it's
shot up
perfect.
about 15%, and now it's
Yeah.
dumping, right? But that,
Right.
if you're a
Yeah.
trader, you want to look at this, right? Like,
Yep.
I'm not a day trader. I'm not a short-term trader. I'll do some longer swing trades, but like, I got my long-term bags. So yeah, so that was like super cool. So the other thing that kind of like blew my mind was how about Algorand? I mean, come on. Algorand.
Oh, I know,
Algorand.
right?
I was like, I was
Out of
between
here.
Panama, like Algorand is like, we know El Salvador built its blockchain using Algorand. Okay. And now Panama came out and said Algorand is part of, one of the 9 cryptocurrencies that got approved. And boom, right? FIFA World Cup, the official sponsor of the World Cup soccer football, if you live outside the United States. But this is the World Cup for soccer. Algorand is the
Yep.
official sponsor. It's the official sponsor for the World Cup soccer. And they already got the deal for next year in 2023. They're going to be the official sponsor for the Women's World Cup soccer.
Yeah, I
Okay. So
love it.
the men and the women.
Yeah.
Yep.
They're really focused on that industry now of a whole as well. And if I remember correctly, they also do the drone races, which is a deal. Drone racing is a really big deal. They do
Yep.
obstacle courses and things of that nature. And Algorand is a big supporter of that also. And did you know that Algorand, those of you that are much younger than I, like in your 20s and 30s, will know the name of this concert. They just recently sponsored this whole streaming concert scenario. I mean, I was watching it with my daughter and Trevor downstairs, and yeah, it's fascinating that they sponsored that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And Algorand is going to be working with FIFA to actually build out their blockchain wallet. And they're
Yep.
also going to be working with them to put together like a marketing plan for their soccer NFTs. So when you go to the World Cup, and we've seen this with, a couple of other companies, they actually do NFTs for the people who are there. We saw it with the Olympics in
Yep.
China, so this is a big deal. And, if you think about the millions of people that watch the World Cup, you're
Oh
going
yeah.
to see Algorand. You're going, because they're the official sponsor. It'll be everywhere. So they're going to get a lot of really good marketing, through doing this, which is pretty cool.
Absolutely.
And if you want to do a deeper dive into Algorand, I suggest you look up Silvio Macaulay. He was the founder of Algorand. And I've mentioned this before, but Charles Hodgkinson said that Silvio is the smartest person in the blockchain technology field. Okay, so this, again, he's not some Joe Schmo. They're building something really cool. And they're also like very carbon neutral, super scalable, right? So it's fast and it's
Yeah.
really inexpensive to send Algorand. And you can stake your Algorand on your ledger and get 6% interest. And I think it's paid out like instantaneously. The rewards just keep accumulating. So you get like fractions of algo, and you can just watch it on Ledger and watch your Algorand grow. And that's also another really good way. Like, let's just say you only have like 100 Algorand. Why not get it on a Ledger and start earning it,
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
And it's a non-taxable event. So we
Yep,
can,
there's lots of ways to earn passive income by staking or what have you.
yeah, yeah. So that's, I mean, it's just super cool. I mean, it's super cool. So you wanna let's just jump into XDC a little bit. Because last week it got released on Uphold. Now there's some rumors that it's getting released on Coinbase.
I know it's going to really surge.
So, and I like it because like I've been following like the price points of it, and it keeps going down. So even with all of this amazing adoption, like fundamental analysis, it doesn't like overcome the fact of what is going on in the world. There's so much confusion, there's just so many things going on. But I jumped into XDC a little bit during the week, and they're actually like a hybrid blockchain that supports the global trade and finance. Okay, so they're going to be trying to bridge this $19 trillion, finance asset class. And they were the first blockchain company to become part of the Global Trade Finance Distribution Initiative. Okay, so they were added to this initiative back in 2021. And we look at like Santander and all these major banks and institutions, they're all part of this global trade financial distribution initiative. Okay, and they're working together, all of them. They want to transform SWIFT. They want to transform payments, but they also want to transform trade into its own asset class.
It's yeah, yeah. Yep. Yep, I've been talking about XTC on the side. It's definitely on my list. I don't currently hold any at this point in time, but I am watching it slowly go down a little bit so I can acquire.
Yeah, yeah, and I don't hold any either, because like when I first started learning about well, one, when I first started learning about ISO 222, it was all about like XRP, Stellar, Algorand. I did hold IOTA back in 2017, but I sold it. But like, I don't think we have to own all the ISO 222 tokens, but I think, not financial advice, but like I think it might be smart just to hold some of them, because it is
Oh,
getting
sure.
adopted this year. Yeah. So, I think that it's just like super important. But, we're talking $19 trillion that XDC is working with. And, the deep dive too. So XDC uses the R3 Corda blockchain. Okay. And the R3 Corda blockchain, we talk a lot about the business of international settlements with Augustin Carson's really creepy guy. Look him up. Oh my God. Right. But, but, but for now, these central banking institutions aren't going away. Right.
No,
80% of them.
no, absolutely not.
No, and like over 80% of them are looking and piloting. And when they say piloting, I believe that they're waiting for some major event to happen so they can just release their central bank digital currency to you and me, right? So that's another reason why I want some of these tokens outside the system. I don't want to have to accept universal basic income through a central bank digital currency. So when I look at the business of international settlements, they have chosen R3 Corda. Okay, that's going to be their blockchain. It's a done deal. Now, you don't have to use XDC. You can use a lot of different tokens. And it's the same thing with RippleNet. You can use other tokens through these platforms, right? It doesn't have to be XRP. It doesn't have to be
No.
XDC. But when I visualize all these different blockchains, especially all the green blockchains that don't use a lot of energy, and when we send money back and forth, it's super cheap. What happens when Algorand connects to like R3 Corda, which connects to RippleNet, which connects to Cardano, which connects to Cosmos, which connects to Polkadot, which connects to Solana. When all of these systems are connected, it's like you can kind of visualize the blockchain of all the coins bringing internet of value, right? We're creating an internet of value. Just like when we send an email, this internet of value is going to be sending value digitally through the computer. Okay. So that's the way I see it. And again, we're not even at that place where all of these systems are able to interoperate, but it's happening.
Oh, it is happening, and it's really an amazing time to be able to watch and be part of the birthing process of it. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Um, so, I think that these coins, all of them have such a bright future. And I think that, another thing too is like when I look at some of this news, and I haven't really looked at a lot of it because like it's really disturbing, right? It's like,
Oh,
you know,
right. Yeah.
so, but again, I kind of feel like we need to see all this news come out.
Well, we were having a really long conversation about that last night, and it really, you've got to think for yourself. And if you're just willing to continue to stay in line, and we need to be questioning things. And honestly, here I am, I'm in my mid 50s, and I never thought that I would be in a place where I'm finding myself questioning everything, absolutely everything that comes across my path. And it's like, what is the truth? Show me the truth.
Yeah,
And boy, oh boy, is that prayer ever being answered, right? I mean, we have to lean into everything that's out there being shown to us and being careful not to be absorbed by the other distractions that they're putting out there, also. It's all
right.
a very, yeah. I mean, there's a
Because
lot of
what?
distractions that are keeping us off topic or keeping us preoccupied when all these other things, these other major things are happening. So it's
Yeah, no,
my big thing.
absolutely. And I really think like we're at a point now, some of this stuff has to be in our face, right? To
Oh,
like
undoubtedly.
help us see the truth. Cause like
Yeah.
I saw, and I don't know, I didn't watch the news or go on. Sometimes like I was trying to find stuff about Janet Yellen this week, and I have to turn off the computer because I'm so depleted. The woman has a degree and how to say nothing. Okay, she can give like a 10,000 word speech, and you just walk away with a headache because she doesn't say anything. Right. So
Yeah.
like, but when I see the Biden administration, okay, who did they appoint for this Nina Jackowicz?
Yeah.
Ninajankowicz. Okay, are we living in America or are we living in China, folks? Okay, because the Ministry of Truth, look it up, 1984, read through what this woman's going to do. You tell me and Kelly, what's the difference between 1984 appointing this Nina person to sing songs, by the way? She's ripping us off, Kelly,
No.
right? So, okay, she's singing songs about disinformation. Really?
I
Really?
know. I
Like,
know. I
okay,
know.
because we have freedoms in America that we need to keep. And really important freedom is the freedom of speech. Okay? Whether I say something that pisses someone else off, or if someone says something that pisses me off, too bad. We have freedom of speech. Everyone, use your voice. Okay? Because this woman is absolutely insane. You can YouTube her. She actually sings Mary Poppins songs.
Well, we got to be careful there because we're going to be doing some things too. But ours are educational and they're based on fact.
Well, they're based on fact. Everything that Kelly and I bring to you is straight from the horse's mouth.
Yeah,
Okay.
right,
So when
right.
we say something
We're
about
not,
Jerome, yeah, when we say something about Jerome Powell, Augustine Carstens, okay, it's from their mouths. Okay.
right.
This Nina Jakovich person, it's like, what is misinformation? Do we actually, is it even constitutional to have a misinformation governance person in the United States government? And how many people on this live stream knew about Nina Jakovich or whatever her name is? I think it's Jackowicz. Jackowicz.
I don't, I can't imagine that anybody's raising their hand.
Yeah. So that, and again, it's like there's all these things that are kind of going behind the scenes, like adoption of cryptocurrency and blockchain, like all those years, we had the JP Morgans and the Goldman Sachs and all the people in the government, the Federal Reserve, the SEC saying that it's a scam. It's for illegal drug smuggling things, right? And that's just not true. Like, this is actually the antidote to what the current legacy system has been doing all of these years. All of these years, these companies have been doing really bad things, and we're about to expose it. So stay tuned.
Yeah, we are. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be
And
entertaining for
fun.
sure. There's no
Yep.
doubt.
We
It
have to
is.
do this like super fun, right? So, and that's it. I'm just going to end it there. So, I don't
Yeah,
know.
awesome. Well, I
Yeah.
mean, there's a lot. And thank you, as always, for doing the deep dive on all of these projects and the news. It's always educational, which is what we're
It's
here to
always
do.
educational. And the thing is, too,
Yeah.
we think about Panama, like, think about how many people, like, go to Panama. They retire in Panama. And if the United States doesn't wrap their heads around, like, some of this adoption and start passing some of these bills that are for the best interest of the people, how many people are going to pack up their stuff and go to Panama and not pay capital gains tax on their cryptocurrency?
Yeah, boy, there's so many things we can talk about, which we will continue to do as the days and weeks tick by. So, all right, I'm going to do my best to do our exit here. We'll see if it works, but bear with us as we continue to get our systems stabilized. And until then, stay tuned for next week. We'll be announcing things. And just as an FYI, go to our website, check out our classes and events. We have our monthly Q&A. It's the last last Saturday of every month. We'd love to have you in the room with us. They're always really deep dives into your questions, and we share whatever we can there. And we also have a membership that we've been building out as well. And yeah, good things coming down the pipeline. So thank you for being here. And until we see you again next time, it is about hodling on and
Huddle on and plant your potatoes.
ciao.
Ciao.
Your hosts for Two Women in Crypto are Andrea Caldero and Kelly Lair. You'll find more information and details regarding the Two Women in Crypto membership, educational and informative class and event offerings, and more via their website, twowomeninCrypto.com. Both Andrea and Kelly are available for